Well, hello. Welcome to Conversations with My Cuz. I am
Hey,
Shayla Shay.
it's me, your girl Michelle with the one L.
And I'm DJ Big Rob, brother love, always about love. What's up,
Always
ladies?
about love.
What is
Hey,
going
nothing. What's going on? What's going on?
First of all, let me say happy Mother's Day to y'all.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a beautiful day.
Yes.
I did a whole lot of nothing and just got loved on.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I didn't get loved on, but I did a whole lot of nothing.
Well, I loved on myself. I don't mean it like somebody else did it for me. I did it my doggone self. Like I loves me. That was
Oh,
my
well,
day.
yeah, that's always a beautiful thing.
Right. That's how Mother's Day should be, right? As long as they don't cause, struggle or strife on Mother's Day. That's what it really is about.
Agreed.
So how are you? How are you, DJ? What you do for your mother?
Oh man, listen. So first off, I went down to Florida to handle the business.
Yeah, you was
And
all over the place.
I doubled back to Atlanta, spent a little time with my grandbaby and
Hey.
my daughter. I did that for my princess. Then I jumped on the plane. I was here by 1:00.
And you was doing
bought
shaking and moving.
Brought mama all the way out to Long Island and had to get back here so we could do what we do.
Wow.
Very nice.
Happy Mother's
All
Day
right.
to all the mothers.
That's
Happy
why we
Mother's
appreciate
Day.
you.
That's what the toast is about.
That's
Happy
why we
Mother's Day.
appreciate you,
Yeah,
DJ
because
Big
you
Rock.
hustle. You be there at the 11th hour, but you be there.
Because he don't really want no smoke. That's the problem.
That's right.
I got 100 jobs.
Where's your toast, Rob?
Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Happy Mother's Day. All the mothers. Even the ones that's getting child support.
Oh gosh. There are those.
Even the one I pay all that child support to. Happy Mother's Day.
They still took care of your daggone children, no matter what.
That's
right.
I
saw somebody say, if I see a man come up here and talk about Happy Mother's Day to me, because I'm the mother and the father, he said I'm gonna slap him.
Last night when I was in Atlanta, I was with one of my sister's friends. She gonna talk about I don't celebrate Mother's Day. I celebrate Father's Day.
A woman said that? That's funny.
Well, that's funny. Go ahead then.
I know. I had to look in my pants real quick. I tried to figure that one.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I really want to quickly just shout out all of our YouTube listeners and watchers, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Blue Rain Radio, IG, everywhere we at. Hey, everybody.
And a special Happy Mother's Day to Helena, the CEO of Blue Rain Radio.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Helena.
I see the chat. I want to say hi and happy Mother's Day in the chat as well. Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you so much.
DJ, what's going on? I know you've been keeping your finger on the pulse of what's trending. So tell us what that's about.
Yes. Well, we got to talk about the R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels.
Yes, R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels.
I don't know all the situations, but like I said, a lot of ladies has been putting up a lot of negative things about a man. But I just want a lot of people to understand that a lot of this stuff is for TV. He did make a lot of points, and he was really trying to educate a lot of y'all ladies on really where a man is coming from, versus thinking that he was coming out of a from a negative point of view. That's first of all, and just really respect the dead on that, because it's a lot of negativity around that. And bottom line, a young man lost his life.
Absolutely.
At the same time.
That is absolutely true.
Now, being that, we have to figure out now. I've been reading some things on kind of like what was going on.
Okay.
I guess can't trust the big button to smile. I'm trying to figure this out.
What?
Maybe he went out the best way he, any man would want to, but like I said, R.I.P. to him. And
Did you see her butt?
I just really want to touch on this too. And
She was a nice looking woman.
Yeah, but all men, I really need y'all to understand and listen. They were saying, he was taking some kind of stimulant, whatever the case may have been. The issue with this is before we get out there and get our big thing on or do what we want to do, maybe pop a pill, listen, see a cardiologist. Because a lot of the time when you see those commercials and you see the man, oh yeah, you could do this. If you buy this, you could do this. You never listen to the end of the commercial and they say, make sure that you're healthy enough for sex. You understand what I'm saying?
Agreed.
That means please go to your cardiologist. You understand what I'm saying? And make sure that you're really cleared to be, to really be messing with these stimulants or whatever it is. We all want to feel good. We all understand that.
That's
your
fine.
health is really, really
honey.
Good.
That's that color purple. How did he die?
On top of me.
It's the best way to go, though, baby. It's
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No more.
I just need all men, please.
Just shut your whole thing down after that.
Go to a cardiologist. Check your heart.
I agree.
Because a lot of times we really, really not in tune with our bodies. We're running around. We trying to get the bag. We trying to get the lady. We trying to take care of the kids. Let's take care of ourselves first.
Please.
Agreed.
I agree with you on
physical and mental health.
Yeah, man. But I wonder what he was taking.
No, you don't.
So you want to go get it?
So you can take it off your shelf. That's why.
So you want to go run out and get it?
Hey.
Listen, I've been privy to
coming
a lot
and going
of
at the same time.
I've been privy to a lot of y'all stories from back in the day on all y'all little excursions out the country. So I've heard stories.
Listen, and it's true too.
I remember one story that you was telling. I was just happened to be there. You wasn't necessarily talking to me, but I was there, and it was you and Ronald and Kevin and a bunch of y'all, and I was listening. And Rashay mentioned that he took a pill, and his Johnson didn't go down for days. You remember that story?
And you didn't think to go to the hospital or nothing to fix it.
No, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Well, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but a couple people remember that trip I went on, and they still upset. But you just gotta picture yourself on the train. You on the plane looking at the students like, I gotta pee. You don't even want to get up and walk down the aisle. Like, how you got this piece of lumber on the plane? Did you want to go through security?
And I'm sitting there listening like,
they had to frisk them.
What the hell was they doing?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of education in sitting back in the company of men and just being quiet. Women mess up by interjecting. I learned early on that if I sat my behind in that dark brown chair in my mother's living room and I just was quiet and I let them rock out, I got so much education. That I would not have known before. And not just from Ronald, it was from all of y'all. I would just sit back. And Ronald sat in that very same chair when it was us girls.
Absolutely, Ronald was listening to our stories. He could probably tell us some stuff too.
Right, things that we don't even know he knows.
Yeah, but like I said before.
But that's dangerous though, what he did.
That shit wasn't that. Oh,
it is. He could have broken.
That's dangerous what you did.
No, because I saw the cardiologist. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No. Well, and you are a lot younger.
I'm trying to tell you. I won't try that now.
Yeah.
He's coded.
Please don't. You had to be a lot younger, so you know you
go be talk.
for days, and he
make,
you
make
would think
sure
he would,
you're healthy enough for sex.
yeah, just for how about just regular sex, so you don't have to worry about taking pills and having heart attacks.
Listen, man, listen.
Because what are you trying to do?
That
I
wasn't
mean,
in, but at that time, that wasn't a need or anything. That was agreed.
yes,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Give me some more. Stop being greedy.
Yes. He didn't want nothing to pass him by back then.
Nothing.
So I got it.
All right, stop putting my personal business on blast. All right,
Listen,
ladies.
that was the
move on.
story I had to
All
tell.
right.
It was funny. You ain't like that no more.
Well, guess what time it is?
Uh-oh.
What time is it, Shay?
It is time for Let Me Ask My Cuz.
Let me ask my cuz. Go,
Can't stop.
cousin.
Stitch.
Hey, go,
Stay with
go,
Shay.
cousin.
We shut one
Go,
up.
cousin. Hey,
Big rock.
oh,
Hey,
we
we
in the building. Yeah,
Here goes Shay
I
trying to
love
be
it. I love
we
it.
in the building, y'all.
Hey.
I got nothing to say. I could just wiggle a
We
little
just
bit.
here with it.
I'm gonna just wiggle. I'm
Oh.
wiggling. I'm wiggling. That's all I got. That's my contribution.
That's it. We gotta write Shay a rap or something. That's
Or something, right? So she
on
can
the
say
remix.
Give me
something
a
because I don't know.
little sauce. I need a little Lowry's.
A little something, yeah, got a little add, a little
something.
something.
So that dry.
Let's see what it. Hey,
So what's going on? What's the topic of the day, Cuzzo?
Well, our first question, since we're talking about Kevin, we were talking about Kevin Samuels and how a lot of people were just celebrating his death and were happy that he died. Is it ever okay to speak ill of the dead?
My first response is no. I don't think it ever is. I think it's okay to tell the truth, right?
Right.
But to celebrate a death, unless that person has done something to me personally, I don't think that that's ever appropriate.
I agree.
For me.
I don't. I
Not
believe
surprised.
yeah, you know me. I believe in certain things as therapy. So and I'm going through a little something right now with the dead, and I just really say that to understand that, get it out, let it out, don't hold that in. Now as far as somebody not being here to defend themselves, that's
Okay.
something, that's something different. But if you have to get something out, don't hold it out, because guess what? They ain't here anyway.
Well,
They
that's
can't
true.
hear you. They can't hear you.
You
So
know what? Okay, sorry.
so to me, remember this. Go back to
Yep.
this.
I gotta go back to that.
So they not here. So really, sometimes it's about you. I'm going through a lot personally, and I had to go to my pop's cemetery grave, and I had to let some personal things out that I felt, and but at the same time, I would never defile anybody because they're not here to defend themselves. But if I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off. Let that go.
No,
I think that's
that part I
about
get.
right. That's
I
about you
get that
telling the
part.
truth about
That's
how
your
you
truth
feel.
and how you're feeling.
Right.
But as far as the things that I've been seeing online is, yeah, I'm glad he's dead. And people being happy about him dying, especially people who don't even know this man personally. So you're only
Right.
happy that he's gone because you didn't like the things that he was saying. So
Okay.
maybe those things that he was saying was kind of
Triggering.
yeah, hitting close to home, where you are that upset and mad at this man who is online on social media just doing what he's doing. Now I've seen people want to die, bitch. Yeah. I mean, it's been crazy. I'm telling you, things I've been seeing. So for me, I don't feel like it's okay. Now I get sometimes situations where you couldn't tell a mother whose child was murdered and
Right.
something happened to that murderer.
Exactly.
And he died, that she wouldn't be happy.
Correct.
That I get.
But that means you've done something, right?
You've
done
done
something
something
that
to me other than maybe tell the truth. That sounds like what
Right.
might have been happening with him.
Right.
That he
Agreed.
told the truth. So I just find it a little disheartening. You don't have to mourn for him though. You don't have to mourn him.
Right.
You don't but celebrating his death, like that's crazy to me.
Or
Well,
to
like
have such horrible things to say about a person who you don't know
Who
personally.
you
He's
don't even know.
a, a, a
well,
personality on TV,
Right.
on social media. You don't know that man. You don't
Right.
know what his
Agreed.
struggles are.
we addressed that. That's funny. We addressed that in barbershop talk. Shout out to my man Jatu, my stylist in Atlanta. He keeps it all tight up in here. But he's
You just had
we
to
were
add that
talking
part, huh?
about the
I'm
the
sorry, y'all. My lighting
Kevin
is all jacked
Samuels,
up. Let me get this together.
and he was you know I told him, the first time I heard him, I thought that he came off as kind of disrespectful.
Right.
I agree.
And
I agree.
but what he was saying was actually truth. And like how y'all
For
ladies always
some.
tell me,
Some things.
a lot of it. Now, like y'all
A
ladies,
lot of it. Look how he getting all
y'all ladies tell me it's not on what you say, it's on how you say it.
that too.
And,
Correct.
and some people got to understand we say things and we do things for TV. We probably the only ones that really be keeping it real.
Shock factor.
But
Agreed.
so and he was telling me that he's been following him for a long time, and bottom line is that he wasn't always this way. That
He used to
a
go in
lot
on the
of ladies,
fellas.
right? A lot of ladies was going in hard on men, especially men who probably their income criteria wasn't there, their educational level wasn't that high, and kind of really beating down the brothers. And that
Okay.
he felt that he would defend, he this is what he was telling me, that he felt that he defended and stuck up for those brothers that kind of didn't have those six-figure jobs and didn't have
Mm-hmm.
educational background, but they need love too.
Okay.
You understand? So I think that, really is, really what he put out, the energy that he put out was probably a little bit too much. But the disrespect is that, again, a young man still died,
Correct.
you know,
Agreed.
Okay.
so that's my take on it. But shout out to Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Rest in
But yeah,
peace.
and like you said, one more thing I'm gonna add to this, and then we can put a pin in it. Is that I do agree. Some of the things that he did say, I did agree with a lot of things that he said.
A lot
But
of it.
his approach and how he spoke to women was off-putting. So even though he might have been saying some truths, it was a little off-putting because he started off. He used to tear men up. I don't know if y'all knew that in the
Right.
beginning
I,
of his
I
thing. He
got
used to go
right.
in on the men. He used to go in on the men before he kind of switched it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I mean, sometimes the truth does hurt.
Right. I got, like I said,
So
I got on him kind of late.
yes, the truth does hurt. I mean, I didn't watch him often, but I do know
I
that
didn't either.
he used to go in on men as well. But it was just off-putting this watching him talk to women the way that he talked to women. So I think that that's what turned a lot of women off from him. But I still don't think that deserves people to be excited and happy that he's gone. Like,
Right.
Correct.
because somebody else gonna pick it up right from where he left off, and they're gonna come and do the same thing. So
Or just people need to keep in mind, what if that was your father? What if that was your son? What if that was your brother? What if that was your uncle?
agreed.
Do unto others as others should do unto you. You know what I'm saying?
Because he was that to somebody. He
Right.
Correct.
He
was
was.
somebody's son. He was somebody's father. He was
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, agreed.
But being honest, let me tell y'all something. Let me ask y'all a question.
Oh shoot, here we go.
So, I was
Here
talking
we
to a
go.
young I was talking to a
Uh-oh.
lady.
Let me get close.
I was talking to a lady friend of mine's, and we was talking, and I was telling her, where I live, I'm up in the suburbs. And I was like, yo, I really, really don't hang out with too many cats up here because a lot of those dudes is married. And you know, um, married guys and when single guys hang out, it's kind of you can hear the BS. Like
Okay.
they wanna compete with you, or tell a lie or try to add into how you're living. And sometimes you just don't want to be involved. So a lot of the times I keep to myself. And I was telling her this. So she tells me, and I really need to really ask Charlotte, nothing to laugh. So she says, well, Ra, I can understand. Their wives probably hate you, because you're a bachelor. You have a really nice house. You probably have all kind of parties. God knows what you're doing, and y'all are unsupervised.
Ooh.
So,
Okay.
Listen. I wanted to get on. Listen here, but I need a female's opinion on what does grown men need to be supervised in a guy that singles home. I need to know, what supervision do we need?
I guess a single man is given license to a married man to act up without anybody like saying, "Hey, guy, that's not the right thing."
In
to
her
do.
mind, though, in her
Yeah,
mind,
not in real
that's
life.
what's happening. Yeah,
Right.
in her mind, that's what's happening. Is she married? Let me just ask that question.
Then I tell you, we had a conversation.
So you mentioned that she was married, so she's not. Oh, okay, I forgot. If somebody talking to you, they can't be married. Yeah, so no. So we basically know that, she might be a problem for anybody that marries her, because if that's what she thinks,
you got to watch your man.
Then her husband
He
can't go nowhere.
He gonna fall into some cooch, just accidentally, like
just hanging out with his
just
single
hanging
homeboy.
out with a single. Yeah, that's it. Like, I didn't mean it. It's just I was with Ra, and
we was unsupervised.
Now, I will say this: there has been situations, I'm sure, where married men do go to single men's homes and things do jump off, because that's the safe spot. I could go here, and because if they want to cheat, what they gonna do? What better place to go?
Okay,
right.
but let me tell you something. People that are in the correctional facility are supervised.
Well, no. You're right.
When you get released on parole and you have an ankle bracelet on, you're on supervised parole.
No, you're right. Now, as far as supervision, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, let me say, when I used to work for UPS as a young guy, and I was on the sword owl, and I put it on the white belt instead of the green belt, I was being supervised. So does that mean? Mean if I move left and she wants me to move right, will she be supervising me then?
I think it's about making sure that let me start by, I should have started by saying I don't agree that a man should be supervised.
I don't agree either.
Right? I don't want to supervise my husband, nor do I want to be supervised. I think that a healthy relationship means that I should be able to make the movements that I want to make, and he should too. And we should be able to come home and not have an issue. So let me start by saying that. However, there are men and women, because they're both, right, who feel like they need to know the comings and goings of their mate to ensure that they don't stray from the path. Like, you gotta keep blinders on them, so they just, you can't let them look. God forbid you let them look at the next thing, like they're gonna get distracted, and therefore you're gonna have a problem. That's a thought process. I don't agree with it, but it's not because there aren't women out there who feel like they need to know every moment of their man's life, otherwise he's cheating.
Agreed.
So just one thing here. So are y'all telling me it's okay for a man to be supervised?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Put some respect on my name, goddamn.
First of all, I don't want to be supervised. So I know my dude wouldn't want to be supervised, because what exactly does that mean?
It means I have to spend my time, right, worrying about what he's doing and making sure he stays in a box, which means I can't live my life.
No, but who's the supervisor though? So
The
who would be
wife.
the supervisor?
The wife. That's why.
But she's not there.
Maybe if everybody's, that's why you're unsupervised.
Right.
So basically, he can't go nowhere. He needs to stay home.
No. She got to be like, where you
No,
going? You
but if
got to be at
but I'm believing like
pre-approved
maybe
people's houses.
right. But that's what I'm
So I'm
saying.
going
Maybe,
with you.
right, or maybe is another wife is if another married guy is there, then maybe his wife is home. So you still be supervised. You
So
got
it
it.
got to be a man. Based so in other words, he can only hang out with married men.
I mean,
So then
you know what
there's
though?
supervision.
You know what though? I kind of understand that too, in a way.
I do too, to some
Because
degree.
for some degree, I do understand that too, in a way. Because, like I said, it's different because when it seems like now that I'm dealing, I'm a little older, and my friends are married and stuff. My 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 thought process is a lot different on
Correct.
what I'm going to tell. Like some conversations I have with if my friends are married, 9 times out of 10 I just listen because I don't want to say nothing disrespectful.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you're a single guy, you be on yo son. Let me tell you something. Do you believe the whole scenery is different? So I do understand a lot of the times why women would feel that married men should hang out with married men.
I get that. I get that. But it's kind of hard to tell a married man that he could only hang out with married men when he has friends that he might have been with his whole life that might not be married.
Yeah, but if you got a
Right.
friend like Rod, then what?
Then that man has to make a decision about whether or
Right.
not
You
how he
are the
wants to
friend that
hang
he.
out with you.
Yeah.
Because he could still hang out, but he could be like, we hanging out on my terms that is still going to make things good with me and my wife. Like, I don't
Right.
want to be at the strip club with you, but me and you could go to the game, or we could go to dinner, or we could,
Right.
share
Yeah.
car rides somewhere. But when you say I'm going to the strip club, he'd be like,
I can't hang out with you.
But just for the record, Rod don't really do strip clubs. Maybe
I know.
We know you don't do
maybe a
that.
little dancing at the crib or something. But I'm just saying.
You see that's why you need supervision. You see what I'm saying?
But what I'm
You see?
what I'm
You
saying
see?
is that, but you have to be respectful. Like to me, my married friend, it's certain things that we probably won't even talk about no more. You
That's
understand?
because they put the boundary there,
Right.
though.
No, they don't. No, that's the trick. That's what y'all would think. Because some of the married men be like, yo, Rob, yo, so what happens? I'll be like, do you really want to hear that? Like, it be the married ones that
They're
be really
thirsty
wanting
for
to
action. Like, tell me something.
that
So I
be
can live through you.
or they be like, yo, Rob, let me go on one of them trips with you. Nah, chill.
I don't see anything wrong with the harmless conversations. I mean, I'm not asking you to take me with you when you go and have these situations.
Nah,
but sometimes it might be fun to hear.
But no, but you're still putting that energy out there. You don't really want to know what happened.
So you basically the married man is feeling like he's missing something.
I believe they think that, and like I said, so a lot of the married men, like I was saying about me, is the same thing. You got to hear the lies that come out of a lot of married men. They get more action than any single man I ever know.
See, we ain't talking about those type of married men.
We're
just talking about I get it. I'm quite sure that they do.
Because you know what? The single guy like me, he ain't even moving like that. That's the trick. The single guy like me is chilling. So I don't even know why you feel you have to even put that kind of energy out there. Boys want to have fun, but I'm saying, why would you even want to put that in? But a lot of the times it be the married men that want to turn up the most. So that's why I don't understand why the supervision means the married guy needs to be supervised.
Well, yeah,
I think it has a lot to do with the man that she's dating, because I don't think that that's necessary for the most part. Like, you kind of know when your man is kind of itching, he's trying to get out the door. Hey, every time he see you, he get excited. Like, oh man, I can hang out with this dude.
Because like, if he's always trying to go hang out with his single friends, you probably like, well, dang, you don't hang out with Rob, who's married anymore. But you always with John, who's single.
Yeah.
What's up with that? So it make you kind of think.
Some married men think when they get married, their lives are supposed to just be different. Like,
but it is.
and no. You can be you and be married. You don't have to be
You
somebody
can.
else. And
I
that's the
agree.
trick. And that's why a lot of those marriages end up in divorce because they realize they've been living somebody else's life.
I mean, you don't still act the same as you did when you were single. I don't
No.
think that.
But you're the same person. Some people get married and it's like, oh, I'm married and this is what my life is. You understand
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just not about that. You understand? Like I have a lot of friends that are really married, and it's like, they just figure, oh, I'm married, I'm not gonna do this, or I'm not, oh, I can't talk to you in front of
Oh,
my
I
wife.
can't do this. Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
you understand? And to me, you're
Right.
being a totally different person.
Person.
Imagine Big Ra really saying, she said I can't. Ladies, understand this. If I came to y'all and said, yo, she said I can't.
Yeah, we would probably have a fit.
We probably
Like,
be
who
like,
are
wait,
you?
what? Okay, and she has to go.
Exactly. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the capability or loving or wanting to be in a nurturing relationship. It just depends on what kind of relationship that.
I agree with all of that. I do think
Okay.
that when you get married, there are certain boundaries you do not cross. But like you said, you should still be able to have some level of independence to yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Right.
I
And a
totally agree
person
with
that
that.
you're with should be able to accept you in that
Right,
space
in that
and vice
space.
versa. This should never be a position where you have to feel like you need to change your mate in order for them to fit your
Right,
Right.
definition of a good partner.
Definitely.
agreed.
You gotta accept them in all of their glory,
In
and
who
they
they
should be
are.
able to do the same. If you, that's real love to me,
I
is
agree.
letting
Right.
somebody feel free,
And be who they
free in
are.
their
Be
space.
who they
Right.
are, as long as it's respectful.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
totally agree.
Absolutely.
That was a good conversation, guys.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. But shout out to all them players out there too.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with playing, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with playing.
Listen, you shut up. That brings us to our topic of the show. It is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day again. So all the
Happy
mothers, and if you're
Mother's
just
Day.
tuning in, happy Mother's to all the ladies. But today we're talking about mothers and mental health because we know that sometimes being a mother can be mentally draining in some areas, and self-care and keeping your mental is really really important.
As a mom, that's
As a
basically
mom,
all
as
the
a
things
mom,
that come with
definitely.
that. Yes, absolutely.
Because if the mental health is not in order, it's very difficult to be a good mother, a good wife, and raise your children in the most healthy environment and things of that nature. So you got to get adequate self-care. So what happens when the mental health is challenged?
Right.
So we have a mother that we're going to. You have something to say, Rashe, before we bring our guest on?
Yeah.
Because you with the
Just
finger.
just want to ask Lachey something.
Oh,
Would
gosh.
you? I know that I'm not a mother, but would you mind me commenting on the situation?
You don't
Absolutely.
need my permission.
What you
Oh,
asking
because
Shay
'cause
permission for?
sometimes I know I can't tell a mother how to be a mother because I'm not a mother. So I just want to
You
make
could talk
sure.
about your experience with your mama. How about that?
I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to really say that I don't
No,
want.
you can't tell a mother how to be a mother, but you can have some input on what. And I ain't even gonna say what you think, but anyway, we have a guest who is a mother.
Yes.
Um, she's a younger mother than Shay and I, so we're gonna bring her on and let's welcome Nicolette to the show.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
Thank
Day.
you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. So we hear the babies in the background. So you see, mother's work is never done because the
That's
kids
right.
don't let you be. But
Not trying to
so
go to
yeah,
bed.
no, they never want to go to bed. There's too much going on, so we get that. But when we're talking about what happens when mental health is challenged, when you're a mother, and some of the things that happen during that,
right, that we have to
yeah,
Hmm.
contend with, right?
Yeah.
you
And
know,
it
go ahead,
starts with
Shay.
being pregnant, right?
Yeah.
The moment you get pregnant, the stress of it, the mental stress of the rest of my life, right? Because it is yours to carry. Even even when you have the mate with you who's all the way in, there's this level of I'm the host of the baby. I got to make sure I'm eating well and blah 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 to make sure that this child comes into the world healthy. And prayerfully that's your story, and if not, then what happens with that, right? And that part of the mental issues of being a mom. So just, I know we were talking the other day and we had such a great conversation. You were telling us about the age of your kids, and just share that with everyone, where you at with your life and your children's ages, etc.
Did she
Maybe
did she
she
freeze?
froze.
I think she froze.
Having some connection issues. I know that one of the things that she was saying is that she's a mother of three, right? So I'll tell her story.
A mother of three, and she has a 3-year-old. So
I remember my son when he was 3. I remember feeling like I didn't I was just reacting to my life and not necessarily getting what was going on, right? You just kind of come in the door, and whatever is in your way, you deal with. And I would lay down and be like, gosh, I don't know if I handled the situation rightly, if I got everything together, if I was able to give the kids what they needed. Like, if they ate and got a bath, I was like, I'm winning.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. But then, well, when we were talking to Nicolette earlier this week, and I don't know, she was having some issues. Can you hear us, Nikki? And we were talking about, because both parents are in the home. So people sometimes think that because both parents are in the home, it should be easier on the mother, that she shouldn't have any issues.
That really depends on the makeup of the relationship, because oftentimes there are men that just feel like, as DJ Big Rob would say, there are certain womanly duties, and therefore we have to carry a lot of the weight, right? And rearing the child has always been and that's the air quotes, woman's duty, to just rear the child. And all of that comes along with it is like, well, you're a mother. This stuff should come naturally to you. What's the stress? Like, I'm bringing the money. You got a nice home. I paid the bills.
Right.
Why is there stress? What's the stress?
Well, we're gonna let you answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, please do, because I don't want to tell a mother how to be a mother, but let me tell her what daddy do.
Right.
So just trying to help y'all understand that.
Oh, you trying to help us?
I'm just listen. I ain't trying to tell y'all what to do. All right, but what I'm saying is what like I said, Shay said is that men probably do feel that way, and I'm not gonna say it's wrong. And I feel like if two people are in the home, it should be easier. And I think it's really about a lot. To me, is communication and what sacrifices are you willing to make for your family.
Right.
And I think that once that goes down, then you have a more clear understanding on where it's at. Like we was talking about the men with the job, and maybe he might work X amount of hours. Then maybe in the communication, they can also say, maybe I need to find another career. What is most important to us in the home? You understand? Instead of saying, oh, he works so many hours or he does this. What is for the whole pie? What is actually best?
Right.
And that's the way daddy would do it.
I like the question that Jerome brought up is, what about mothers who secretly regret being a mother and the stress that comes from feeling obligated? Right. And you get that story oftentimes with young ladies, right, who don't plan a pregnancy, but you wind up pregnant, and you think that, you know, this the father of your children is going to be a part of the life. They don't. And then there you are. You wind up being this single parent, and when you're young, you feel like you're missing out on things, right? You don't get an opportunity. What and they there's anger, there's resentment, there's, you know, where's that at? I see that. Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, and I would have to, I can relate to that because I was that parent. Not that I regretted having my children. My regret was being a single mother because that's not what I signed up for. Right. I didn't sign up to be a single mother, but I ended up being one. So there was a lot of anger. My resentment was never towards my children, was more towards their father.
Right. But you don't have the father to give it to.
But it transfers on to your children.
Right.
And I can say that was my story. You know, I was an angry parent. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't see it. I didn't see it then. Of course, I saw it later on.
Because you're in the trenches. You don't.
But you're in it. You know, so you're like, I gotta deal with these kids by myself. And you know, and now I'm stressed because I'm struggling. They won't shut up.
Mm-hmm. You know, they always need,
they always need something,
right?
That's borderline abuse.
Yeah. And I gotta deal with all of this by myself while their father is out there doing whatever it is that he wanted to do. So there definitely is a lot of resentment there, you know. But again, I never regretted having my children because my kids is the best thing that ever happened to my life. You know what I mean? But the resentment towards the father was there.
You know,
do you think? Go ahead, Ra.
All right. So, you know, it's funny that you said that, Michelle, because I think I felt a lot of resentment and anger as well. And it was like, not to say that I really planned to be a single father. I just didn't want to be in a broken home again.
Yeah.
I already had one and I didn't want to do it a second time. And, you know, measures could have been taken before we made this decision to have this child. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, you knew that this wasn't something you was thinking of. So why did we even think of having a child?
Right.
But my thing is that I think, and it is a mental health thing because, you know, me personally, I don't mind saying that I had to go to some kind of therapy and really, really understand and learn that I have to let it go. Right.
Yeah.
And then when you let it go, you're able to forgive.
Yeah.
And now when you're able to forgive, you're able to move on
and heal.
Now the child becomes the prime example. And then one thing I realized in life now is I could look at that situation now and say, you know what? That person didn't go through the chapters. And I'm talking about the other mother, the mother. She didn't go through the protocols that I went through. And 10 years later, it's the same situation going on with her.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So maybe sometimes the mother, maybe she doesn't think that it's an issue or something she should look into as far as getting some kind of counseling or help or just really just learning how to let go.
Agreed.
Is a whole thing. So that's all I really wanted to say is that you're right. Men do feel a resentment too.
I'm sure because
you're parenting.
You're parenting, right? And nobody wants to parent outside of the home. And so for you as the parent that was out the home, you wasn't even in the home with the kids.
Exactly.
So that's a different level of stress.
Right. That's a whole level of stress. And
you got to deal with things with the mother. It got to be on her time and her rules and all. So you got to deal with all of that. And, you know, when the mother's is angry and bitter and you got to deal with all that. So that's stressful as well. So.
Right.
Hey, Nicolette, welcome back.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
That's okay. We carried the conversation on, so.
That's fine.
Do you want me to say my story or we moving on?
Absolutely. Nope. Absolutely share your story.
Yeah, you could definitely talk about the children, how old they are, and.
Okay, so I have three: a 3-year-old, a 9-year-old, and an 11-year-old. 2 girls and a boy, and they're just crazy, honestly. because they have the attention span of squirrels. They're always running all over the place. So
My question for you is about how are you able to manage your personal mental health and being a mom? Is there even a balance to it? Because I know I didn't figure that out.
I put myself in timeout. I will go sit in the garage. My daughter loves cocoa melon. I will put cocoa melon on and go in the garage and have my door open. So it's like I'm there, but I'm not there. So I can have some kind of isolation and some kind of peace so I can like get myself back together. And that's what I try and do. I write, I paint, I do all different kinds of things. And that's what I try and do.
Yeah, because I know I don't even think I even realized the depression and the anxiety that I was dealing with as a parent, right? Because I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, this is what I have to do. Like,
Right.
oh well, if it's stressful. Oh well, if I'm struggling. Oh well, for myself. Like,
Yeah.
I just it took for the kids to be a lot older for me to be able to, when they were self-sufficient, that I was able to sit back and go, okay, now I can work on repairing some of the things that I was dealing with. So
Yeah.
it like just mothers that are in your space, right, having young children and trying to deal with some things, just the importance of taking a moment to focus. And I know that you do have someone else in the household, but if you're a single mother, where does it come from? Because I wasn't a single mother in that way, but my kid's father was not in the home, and so my
Mm-hmm.
Right.
household, I was a single. It was a sole responsibility for me, and I just couldn't find the room even.
Right. So that's
I
what we were
actually
talking
had
about
depression through
before.
my pregnancies as well.
Oh wow. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But what I was
I
saying, because we did talk about
okay.
that before you had went off, about people think that because both of the parents are in the home, that it should be less stressful for the mother in that
Mm-hmm.
situation because both parents are in the house. So
It
you
is
can
and it
say,
isn't because people don't think about like my husband. He works 12-hour shifts, 4 on, 4 off. So for at least 5 days out of the week, he's basically unavailable because it's like he goes to work and he comes back and he sleeps, gets up enough to like eat and get ready, and then he's back out the door getting ready for work. So it can be a lot sometimes, and sometimes I can talk to him about it, and sometimes I just gotta, suck it up and deal with it because that's just the trade-off that we make. He's working and I'm here in the home, and it's just it's challenging sometimes just because sometimes you want to break and it's just like when you're a parent you don't have days off, so it's like
Right.
when he gets his days off, he deserves to be able to rest. And but it's like sometimes like I need a break too. Like I've been sun up sun down wiping
right.
butts and doing all this stuff. I just give me an hour. Like I don't even need a full day,
Yeah,
give me an
no,
hour.
yeah. And that's so important though, especially for people who don't have like a support system where they can get that break. Because
Yeah.
that's hard because you're dealing with kids. There's no relief, there's no nothing. I will say that I did have that. I had my mom, I had other grandmother. So I did have those days where I could just be like, all right, y'all going to see your grandmother because I need some
Mm-hmm.
me time. Y'all got to go. So I did have that. So I think that was my saving grace,
Mm-hmm.
because if I didn't have that, I don't know.
Right.
Takes a
I,
village.
Yeah,
it
it
definitely
definitely
takes a
does.
village.
And I
Definitely
think
takes a
people
village.
overestimate how much support, like when you have two parent households and one person is working, because they think, oh, that person doesn't need help because they have their significant
Right.
other, not
Right.
realizing that, sometimes it might be that way, but it's almost like sometimes I feel like a single parent because he's out so much or he sleeps so much
Yeah.
of the time. So it's like even though we're here and we're together, it's especially
Yeah.
with the cost of everything going up, sometimes he has to work overtime and other things like that. So there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. And then you guys need time to yourself as well.
Exactly.
To
Like
hold a healthy
together time,
relationship
alone
together.
Yeah.
time, family time.
But
Right.
can I ask a question? Um, so how old you said 11? You said you're an 11-year-old.
Hmm.
So like when you have a child that old, like, is there a thing like, because this is what I learned with myself is I tried to make a community within my community as far as
Mhm.
when my kids went to school, who my kids played with, this, that, and other. I will reach out to the other parent and try to build relationships with them. This way, it will kind of be a back and forth thing. Maybe you can help me, I can help you to try to build more of a support factor for you as the mom. You understand?
Mhm.
And even if that doesn't work with even help with the kids, just somebody to talk to relate to what you're going through on a daily basis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, can you
Support
say that one more
systems.
time? It like cut out part towards the.
I think he was talking about support systems. Just, where do you find those? And for him, it was with other parents around his school, the
Um,
neighborhood.
personally, I don't really have that many support system just because trust issues.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
being younger and knowing, going to people's houses and people coming to my house and just the different people that were around and kids that you think are safe or are the good kids. And in reality, they are really the good child. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but they really the good child. They really like devious on the low. And it's like, that's not a safe place. So it's like, I don't judge books by their cover. And so
Right.
because I don't, it's hard for me to learn that. And so most of the time they have like activities and things that they go through, but I don't really have much of a support system.
Support
It's
system.
Right.
just my
Okay.
household.
Right, because it's like my daughter, my daughter was busy. She was always had to be active, so we had her in cheer. And
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
through cheer, we was able to travel, but it was so much more. It was, I met cheer dads and just things that we will go through, even if it's on the road or anything. It would be stuff that we talk about because they knew that I lived in New York and she lived in Atlanta, and
Right.
they
Hmm.
would extend themselves a little bit extra to realize to think, well, mom's in Atlanta, dad's in New York, and they still making the effort to make it to Tennessee. Do you guys need any help? How can we help you make your situation better? That
Mm,
so it's like
yeah.
that. So with the not even
Yeah.
in homes, but just like with a lot of activities, sometimes I just find out that you're not alone in this, and that's what I feel sometimes that maybe you don't know it, but maybe reaching out to like even activities, just talking to people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at times because I found that it worked for me.
I
And
personally
and
have a lot of social anxiety. So I try and I can
yeah.
talk to
Right.
people, but it's like picking up the phone to have a conversation after that conversation is problematic for me personally.
Got you.
Yeah.
Understood.
And then I understand the point of, when she was making about
Right.
trusting people. You know what I mean? Because you kind of
Yes.
just don't want to give your kids to anybody because you don't know. So I get
Yeah.
that. Make it I think because of the community that we grew up in is so different, because
Yeah.
Correct.
everybody knew everybody. Everybody's mother knew everybody's mother. So we kind of felt safe in that environment, that we
Yeah.
could
Mm-hmm.
do that. So but then when I moved out of the community, I wasn't kicking it with nobody.
Right.
Not like
No,
that.
I wasn't. When I left out of left rack with my kids, I didn't have those connections anymore. My
Right.
connections were still within our community.
Right.
Outside of that, I wasn't that trusting to just leave my kids with anybody. It was just
Right.
like,
Right.
you know,
I
And
Right.
to
think what
add to that
one of the go ahead, Nick. You go.
with growing up in Left Rack and then leaving there, and then it was kind of like a culture shock in a big way
yeah,
because number one, it was such a mixed, diverse group of people that were there on top of all the black kids that were there. And then I moved to the South where it's like a bunch of white people, and I don't have no kind of community, no kind of anything, don't know anything. And when I came to, there was a lot of like racist activity
mm,
going
Mm,
on, and so it was a big shock for me to leave Left Rack
right.
because that was a big
yeah,
community.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is that one of the things that DJ was saying about reaching out to other parents and other, having your
yeah,
kids in these activities. One of the things that I struggle with all the time was trying to figure out whether or not I was doing things right. whether or not I was, you know, whether or not the
Mm-hmm.
way that I was disciplining or the way that I was structuring my house. And it always felt like I was chasing and not necessarily getting it right. And being able to talk to other parents, you
Okay.
realize that
You're not
you
alone.
are dealing with
Are
the
not alone.
same
Yeah.
type of situations that they are, and that it is that we're all
Yeah.
struggling through it, right? Especially coming from a family, at least in my household, everything wasn't always all right. Like, you know,
Right.
we didn't have the structure, so I was figuring things out, and in that I didn't know. And
Right.
so talking to other people changes that process, and you get this aha moment of, we are all really kind of figuring this thing out together, loving our children, wanting the best for them, and being able to look at somebody and go, yeah, me too.
Right.
Whew, I'm not a terrible parent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, definitely.
It's
Definitely.
like it
Agreed.
almost allows you to be a little kinder to yourself, gentler with yourself, and realize that you're not alone in it, and
Yes,
like you're not just screwing up
Yeah.
all this time. Like every other people go through it as well.
right. That's the beauty of that.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed. Agreed. So yeah, this was a great conversation
Sorry, I cut
about
yeah,
out.
mothers.
I
It's fine.
know.
But you know, I was just glad that you got an opportunity to even come on and just share your story, because you are a younger mother. So if there's some younger mothers out there can take away anything from this, that's what we want. Because you don't have, I mean, even if you are in the struggle and you're
Mm-hmm.
still dealing with some of it, there is a way out. And now one thing I love about Nikki is that she recognizes a lot of the things that she's going through,
Right.
Yeah.
and
And I
she's dealing
didn't.
with them in therapy, because at her age as a mother, I wasn't even there to
Mm-mm.
even think about therapy, or I need to go and get some help, or whatever the case may be. I just was mad.
I would
Right.
honestly, it was just to the point where honestly, I didn't have a choice. It was like even when I wasn't sad, it's like my face. It's like I felt like I was like leaking because I'm not crying, I'm not sad, but it was just I was so overwhelmed, so everything that it
Yeah,
was just like emotion is trying to come out, but I didn't know how to express it or how to even recognize that it was emotions that I was even feeling. And so and that's was part of the depression and things that I was going through, just
right,
recognizing it. And so my doctor was like, I really think, you need to go and see someone, especially when I had depression through all three of my pregnancies that got
right,
progressively worse. And that's just because, I have dopamine deficiencies and other deficiencies that pregnancy exasperated. And it was just hard for me. And it's like sometimes I told you before, I'm autistic. So it's like I forget to eat sometimes.
yeah,
Like I don't keep like my body doesn't give me those cues. So I normally try and eat with my kids eat, but if I have to do something else, I might forget to eat. And being pregnant, then it's like, okay, well, something is wrong.
can't
Why do I feel
forget
this
to
way?
eat. Yeah,
And so there was times where I would call my sister crying and I'm like, something is wrong. And she's like, well, did you eat? And I'm like, she's like, well, eat
no,
something. And then it's to the point where it's like my body is threatening me. And I'm like, if I try and eat, it's saying it's going to come back up. And then it's like, it's just a big
a lot. Yeah,
handful of things that compounded on themselves with pregnancy and just, but it's like I love being pregnant and like feeling the baby and all the other things, but it's just the mental things that come with it, the hormonal things that
right,
come with it that change things around. It's more so like towards the beginning, then at the end, and then after. Like the
yeah,
middle, it's bliss, but then afterwards,
Mm.
and then would you? So basically, when the
right,
hormones are going up, and then when they're crashing down, that's when I have the hardest time. And then it's just like my brain is like a jumbled mess, and I'm trying to get it in order. And so that's what therapy helped me with and helped me realize. And I realized I was putting a lot of things on other people, and so she helped me to think like, well, why did you do this? And it's like, because I wanted this person to do this. And it's like, no, you knew that person was going to do this. You hoped for a different outcome, even when you knew the other. So it's like looking within myself and asking hard questions. I was able to basically get to the point where I'm now in trying to heal myself so that I don't damage my children.
right. And that's the most
But
important thing.
and you're on the road too. You're really on the road.
Well, that's amazing.
Thank
But
you.
thank you so much, Nikki, for joining us today. This evening. Happy Mother's Day to you. And
Happy
Thank
Mother's
you. Happy
I
Day.
hope you
Mother's
had a
Day to
great
you
day.
ladies as
So
well.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And everybody say goodbye to Nikki.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, so man, being a mother is tough.
Yes, it is. But I think easy. One of the things that she said that was good is you can, that therapy thing, you know, having somebody to talk to. And DJ touched on that as well.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up the show, we end every show with the quote, but we want to we gave our shout outs, right? So as we have a shout out, I think DJ Big Rob might like this one. Because James Brown kind of said something like this. They said it was a man's world, right? James Brown said it's a man's world.
It's a man's
world. We all know it wouldn't be nothing without a woman's touch. Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
I'm Team Remy's on DJ Big Rob. As we bring down the Cabo Experience 2022. I'm bringing talent. I'm bringing stiletto. I'm bringing Kenny Williams. I'm bringing DJ Warren, DJ Zah, DJ Storm, DJ K-Dog, and Uptown Zone, Jeff Wright. For more info, go to www.theteamremy.com. And you're drawing, hold up. Go to www.theteamremy.com as we bring you all around. 5 days, 4 nights, opening party in the sky. Check your day pool party. Madness party featuring Jeff Brand. All white Bon Voyage comedy show. Special performance by RL. Yes, Big Rob's gonna be on the dance. And I'm bringing my cousins with me. Conversation with my